All right, so my main controller that I currently use at this moment is the Reloob Buddy. I really love this controller. My wife got this for me as a birthday gift, and it has everything you need to DJ with the iPad. The only thing it doesn't have, which I wish it did, which I thought it did before I got it, was somewhere to plug in a microphone. This controller does not have anywhere for you to plug in a microphone. Some of the really cool features that this controller does have is RGB heads. So with DJ Pro AI, you could actually change the color of your cue points, and then that will reflect in the actual controller, which is really cool. It's a really good idea to be able to keep track of your cue points. I usually set the start cue point as green and the end cue point as red. So right there, as soon as I load up the track, I could see on the iPad and on the controller which cue points are which, and it really helps. Another thing that's really cool about this controller is it has these paddle effects. So if you pull down on the paddle, it is like spring loaded, so it'll only use the effect while you're holding it. And then when you let go, the effect is off. And then also, if you want to do an effect where you're going to leave it on, such as an echo out or a reverb out, you could just flick it up, and then that effect will stay on until you move it down. So it's like a button if you push it down, and then like a switch if you push it up. And it makes it really easy to do really cool effect transitions. And it's also fun when you're using it for scratching and you wanted to add in effects. Another thing is, this is one of the first controllers that has Neural Mix built into the controller. So instead of controlling the bass, the mids, and highs, the mixer section, you can control the vocals, harmonics, and drums. So it was really cool, and it was designed specifically for the iPad and DJ Pro AI. Another thing is it has a built-in iPad stand, which my only complaint about that is if you have an iPad with a case on it, it doesn't hold the iPad, and I would not recommend bringing your iPad out to DJ where people are going to be drinking and dancing and going nuts without having a case on your iPad. So the two things I wish they did better with this controller would be to make an iPad stand that could actually hold an iPad Pro with a case, and if they just made a port so we could plug in our microphone, because I think it is important, even if you don't MC that much, it's good to make announcements and stuff like that with a microphone. All right, let's move on to my next controller. So this next controller is going to be, it's going to be this bad boy. This is the Vextex Spin. This was one of the first controllers designed specifically for DJ Pro AI, and this was actually sold in the actual Apple store back in either 2012 or 2013. So this controller is over 10 years old, and it's still better than some of the controllers they make today. For one thing, it has a place for us to plug in our microphone, which is great. Another thing is the jog wheels are cool. They're not really the most accurate. I mean, it was a different time and the technology wasn't really there, but the jog wheels work. The sliders are nice and big for the volume sliders. And then the thing that's weird is instead of having a mixer section in the middle, it has these. They kind of look like the EQs that would be like on an old car stereo or something, or like an old boombox, but they actually work really well. You could, instead of twisting knobs, they did it in sliders. You don't really see that too much, and I think it's a really unique thing for this controller to have. Another thing is it has kind of like a video game style selector for selecting your tracks, which I think works really good. I think it works better than the knob that most of the new controllers have. The only thing that this controller is missing is it doesn't really have a section it doesn't have a built-in section for a filter, which I guess back then it wasn't as popular with DJs as it is now, but most DJs usually use the filter in most of their transitions, so that's one thing that's missing. It has a pretty cool loop control, and you can control one effect at a time. So overall, I got this really for the nostalgia effect, and I really think it's a really cool controller. It's really sleek, and this is one of my favorite controllers to use. And then the next one, this one is my backup controller for the controller that I use when I, just DJing like a small pool party or a barbecue or something. It is the Numark IDJ2Go2 Touch. It's portable and compact, and although it doesn't have all the buttons and knobs that you need to DJ with, you could put it right here next to your iPad, and then you could use the iPad screen as an addition to the controller to do everything that is not built into this controller. And then also there are some extra buttons that you don't really need on the controller. So I made a lot of videos on... Sorry about that. So I made a lot of videos on how to map the controller to really get the full effect out of it. And really the main reason why I would suggest someone getting this controller, even if they don't plan on DJing professionally or anything, is because it has a built-in sound card. So with the new iPads, they just give you one USB-C port. There's no headphone jack. So if you want to use headphones while you DJ, which is kind of important, then just by spending I think it's $89 at the moment, just by spending $89, now you could plug in your headphones to one side and you could plug in your main output. And overall, this is a great controller. Even if I'm not using it as my main controller at a gig, I always bring it with me. Everything fits in this little case with all the wires and everything, and you are good to go. So this controller really is a no-brainer, and I think that anyone that's going to DJ with the iPad or DJ with their phone, this is definitely a great product to get because it works well. The build quality is good, and it's a great way to get into DJing. And then as you upgrade your controllers, you could also use it as a backup. And then also with most of the DJ softwares, you could plug in more than one controller at a time. So if you want to control extra decks or just have a little bit of extra buttons, you could have this controller plugged in with a bigger controller, and it makes it a lot more fun and easy to DJ that way. So let me know in the comments down below what you guys think of my DJ controller collection. Let me know if you guys have any of these controllers or if you want to see more of a specific controller. Also, if you guys have any specific questions regarding DJing with the iPad, and basically just the future of DJing, ask me in the comments. I try to get back to the comments as soon as possible. Also, if you found value in this video, please give this video a like. It helps us out so much. And also, if you want to learn more about DJing and all the new DJ controllers, subscribe to the channel and give this video a like. Thank you guys all for watching.